Dan the Can's Journey Through Town. Early one Friday morning, before most people were awake, there was a flurry of activity at a grocery store on the north side of town. Trucks were unloading, dollies were wheeling, and boxes were opening. Inside the boxes were all kinds of things: cereal, peanut butter, canned fruits and vegetables. And from the box of vegetables emerged Dan the Can! Dan was so excited to be at the store, out of the box and at a place where he could stand tall, full of flavor and vitamins and nutrients, all displayed proudly on the side of his label. He even got a front row seat on a shelf, next to other cans that wore the same uniform proudly. There was Nan, Stan, Ann, and many others. They were all fans of each other, hoping that each would get picked when the lights came on at the store. "This will be a wonderful journey," exclaimed Dan. "For all of us. Just wait until we get picked to go home to a kitchen where we can share all of the good things that we are packed with. It will surely be today." The lights came on and everyone stood at attention, face front. So many of Dan's new friends got picked fast. Nan and Ann went first. "Goodbye, have a great trip," he said. Dan was still waiting with Stan when a little girl came by and chose Dan the Can. He was so thrilled to continue his journey and finally fulfill his destiny. Into the cart and across the scanner, Dan the Can was giddy with excitement as he was transported in a bag this time. A bag! Then, plunk! "Wait, what's this?" thought Dan. "Where am I?" It was kind of dark and there were lots of others around him, but they weren't canned vegetables. There was Pete the peanut butter jar, Saul the cereal box, and too many others to mention. But what were they doing here? Dan the Can expected to be in a kitchen by that evening, but there he sat with the others, still in the store, but in a special barrel that would take Dan the Can further than he ever imagined before. The next day, Dan the Can awoke to find all of his new friends talking about the special journey they were about to take. "What's going on?" asked Dan. "I've never heard of any special journey. We're just supposed to go to a kitchen." Everyone assured Dan that he would go to a kitchen, but that he was chosen for this special journey because the nice shopper that bought him had big plans for him. She wanted him to go to a different kitchen, one that she had never been to, and to a family she had never met. Suddenly, Dan the Can got really excited. "This is great! I can't wait to see where I'll go." Just then, a bearded man poked his head in the barrel and scooped up Dan the Can and all of his new friends. A short ride later, Dan the Can and the others were taken from the bearded man's truck into another large building. "Is this another store?" thought Dan. "I thought we were going to a kitchen." "Just wait," said Pete the peanut butter. "Trust me, I've heard from my family about where we'll go. And while we're here, we'll get extra special treatment." And they did. Each and every can, jar, box, and bag was looked over, handled with care, cleaned, and sorted. I feel brand new again, said Dan the Can. I really like it here. And the food bank was happy to have Dan the Can. But Dan the Can would be moving again, this time into a box. But not a box like he had been in before. It was a family box, filled with all of his friends from the barrel. He was so glad that he knew these friends from before. They were like old friends now, ready to make their last stop together. This box was packed especially for a family to have a meal that wouldn't normally get to eat. A family that uses their money to pay for their apartment or house, car, and utilities. Sometimes there just isn't enough money to buy food. Dan the Can's family box was packed and sealed, ready for pickup. Another truck came by on Monday and lifted them from the loading dock onto another truck, this time a smaller one. It was a short ride, and the family box was put in a small room on a shelf again. But Dan the Can knew from all of his friends that it would not take long to get picked here. And the food pantry was also so happy to have him. Soon enough, a nice lady came along and picked his box. This was it! He was going to get to a kitchen at last. Dan the Can filled up with pride as the nice lady took him out of his box, opened him, and shared all of his flavor, vitamins, nutrients, and hope with her family. He was chosen not once, but twice to be in this very special kitchen on a quiet Monday evening on the south side of town.